Hey guys, I'm Matt, a developer from Ohio, and in this video, I'll be talking about Python list comprehensions. By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize good opportunities to use list comprehensions and construct them from three parts. Let's get started. When dealing with lists in Python, we sometimes need to make adjustments to every item in the list. For example, let's take a look at this list of temperatures. Let's say that we find out after the fact that these readings were taken on a faulty thermometer that's always off by 20 degrees. Let's make that adjustment in a new list. We'll add a new list, which will be temperatures adjusted, and we'll fix every value. So -5 plus 20 will be 15, 29 plus 20 will be 49, then we have 46, 13, 21, 38, 32, and 51. So we can manually change each of these values by 20 degrees, but it takes a while. And what if we had to deal with 800 readings instead of 8? At some point, it becomes too time-consuming to make all those changes. Not to mention, we're more likely to make a mistake if we have to go through that many entries. Fortunately, Python gives us a way to perform an operation on every value in a list, all at once. We can use a list comprehension to perform the operation plus 20 on every temperature in this list. Let's take a look at how list comprehensions work. First, I'll draw out a guideline for us to work from. I'm going to write operation for item in list. Every list comprehension has at least these three parts. List is which list we will be performing the operation on. In our case, that's temperatures, because this is the original list that we're going to add 20 to. Items is the name we want to use for each item in temperatures. Let's call each item a temp. So each temp will be -5, 29, 26, and so on. Lastly, we have the operation that we want to perform on each temp. Again, our operation is plus 20, so we'll write temp plus 20. And again, that's temp plus 20. The list comprehension that we just built will take one item from temperatures, save it to a variable called temp, and append temp plus 20 to temperatures adjusted. Then, the same thing will happen for every other item in temperatures. Now that we have a finished list comprehension, let's use that instead of our manual adjustment. So I'm going to delete our manual adjustment list and replace that with our list comprehension, which should give us the exact same list. This method becomes even more advantageous when we need to do more complicated adjustments. For example, if we want to convert these temperatures from Celsius to Fahrenheit, we can just replace temp plus 20 with the Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion formula. Let's take a look at another example. Here, we're showing rainfall data from two cities in a bar chart. To render this chart, I'm using a common data visualization model called matplotlib. If you aren't familiar with this module, don't worry about the last three lines here. Just know that they take our lists as input and they output the bar chart. The data is stored in inches in the lists rainfall 1 and rainfall 2. We can't see the blue bars for rainfall 1 almost at all behind the orange bars for rainfall 2. This is because both sets are being displayed with the range of numbers from 0 to 5. To show both sets, we can use list comprehensions again. Let's switch out that range of every number from 0 to 5 for a list of every other number from 0 to 10. To do that, we can multiply every number in the range by 2. So here we have a range of 5, that's every number up to 5, and if we want every other number, we can use range 5 as the input list for our list comprehension. So we can say something like x times 2 for every x in that range that goes to 5. So now we have a list comprehension where our operation is times 2 for every x value in this range of 5. The blue bars now appear at every other number. We can fit the orange bars in the blank spaces by adding 1 to every number from x values 1. So instead of using a range at all here for x values 2, I'll copy x values 1, and we'll make another list comprehension. This time it'll be x plus 1 for every x value in x values 1. So this is going to take each of these numbers and just add 1 to it. Now every bar is completely visible. However, all the values here are above 140. The data might be easier to see if the y-axis started at 140 instead of 0. With list comprehensions, we can easily subtract 140 from the height of each bar. So the height of the bars here is in y values, just like the horizontal position was in x values. And we can do a list comprehension here to subtract 140 from every value. So we will do amount minus 140 for each amount in the rainfall list. And we'll do exactly the same thing for y values too, making sure that we use the correct data with rainfall too. That's better. As you can see, list comprehensions are useful in all sorts of situations. You should use them anytime you need to make a change to every item in a list. Just remember the structure of every list comprehension. Right to left, the comprehension will take each item in the list, store it as a variable, and use the operation to append a new item to the new list. Give it some practice and you'll be able to modify lists with ease. I'm Matt for Codecademy. Happy coding!